Hey everyone.
Welcome to another episode of the podcast.
Today we're joined by two people you have definitely not seen before. Randy and Rosanna. Yay!
Welcome
Adjust your
back.
microphones. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Before we get started, Catherine, how was your week?
My week was good. I didn't do much. Just a lot of relaxing and watching TV. I just started watching Love is Blind Japan.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you know what that is?
No idea.
So it's like, how do you describe it? These people are basically blind dating, and you have to try and find someone to marry. I've watched the American one, and the Japan one is not as exciting. I'm kind of bored. Just because the drama with the American one is a lot better, but stick with it. See how it goes. Yeah.
So I watched Love is Blind, the American one. And so, they're actually, so when they first meet each other, they're, in, separate rooms and they can't see each other.
Okay.
So they're literally just all voices, right?
Yeah. They talk through, a wall.
They talk through a wall.
Yeah.
And then they're there for, a couple days, I think?
I don't actually know.
And then they had to choose, they had to choose their person that you wanted to, date or marry.
Okay.
And they see, if they only see them if they both choose the same person, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't match, then they're out of the series.
Do they have to marry them in the show?
Yeah, you have to propose before actually seeing them, and then afterwards you see them, and then you live your lives together, and then there's a ceremony after a few weeks.
Okay.
And at the altar, that's when you decide if you actually want to marry the person.
Wait, you don't get to see them until that last part?
Until
Or they don't get to see each other until then?
you get to see them after you propose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
And then
But it's weird because they would propose and then they would all hang out together and they would all be like, oh my gosh, I kind of like this
Right?
person.
Oh.
which is my favorite part to watch. They're oh, I missed out on that.
Do they meet everyone? And
Yeah,
then-
eventually they do. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so everyone's an option, or no?
No, technically no.
But
That's
it
the
shouldn't
drama.
be, but
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little weird. And
Okay.
it's so dramatic though, the American one.
It's so good.
There's just the first one I remember just being so mad at some of the stupid people that were on there. And but then I watched what's the Korean one?
Singles Inferno.
Singles Inferno.
Yeah.
That was
Oh.
everyone's super attractive.
Mm.
Okay.
And
So-
just
I
to
mean-
let
And
you
so
know.
polite.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
so polite. Even though they're they like each other, they
Wow.
still are so nice to each other. And even I think now I follow some of them on Instagram, and they're also still hanging out. So it's kind of
That's
really
nice.
That's
cute.
kind of cool.
But in the American ones, they hate each other.
Savage.
Absolutely
Yeah.
hate each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Rosanna?
Rosanna.
My week was good. On the weekend, I watched an online concert, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
But it was streaming from Japan, so I was awake from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Oh,
and it
time
really messed up my
zones.
schedule. But it was worth it. It was really good.
Okay,
Do you have to
that's
pay
cool.
for it, or is it free?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow. So it's such a weird I think because of the pandemic, there's so much more access to online concerts, which is really cool. I think, and I think
Yeah.
even when things are opening up again, even though people might have people who might be there in person, I wonder if they're gonna keep the option of being online. Even maybe maybe it's a little cheaper, but then they still get some
It's true. It's
a bit
extra
more-
money for them.
some extra money.
You get to watch the concert in your pajamas.
Yeah.
That's true.
Comfort of your own home.
It is
I
nice.
watched a K-pop concert with one of my friends. I won't say who you are. I don't want to. And it was really weird because there were you could see there was an audience, right? But they couldn't cheer.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
So they were
What?
finish a song because they're not supposed to sing or whatever
Oh,
because of
I
COVID.
see.
And then so you just see them and it's really
silent.
it's really funny to me because I've seen so many concerts where people are just yelling and cheering, but then because of COVID, they're and they had the little lights and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was still really cool. Yeah. But
Mhm.
Randy, how's your week?
It's been pretty good. Didn't really do too much this week, but last week I had a friend from out of town come over to visit, so that was pretty nice. Haven't seen him in a long time, so pretty nice to just catch up with him and see what he's up to, I guess. So
Hi Benson, I know you watch this and listen to this. You know what's funny is that even though we haven't seen him in so long, he still just makes fun of you.
I know.
Just you, literally.
Yeah.
The entire, like when you were driving into the visitor parking, he was just chasing after your car.
Knocking on my window. Messing with me.
I think that's really fun that, like, even though you haven't seen each other for so long, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
Last week, Randy,
What?
I attended a spin class.
Oh, you.
That's what we did. I forgot about that.
See, how's that?
I dragged Josh to a spin class.
I
this
was
weekend.
like, okay, physically, I think I'm in my best shape I've ever been. But I've heard of the like intensity of spin class, so I'm like, was kind of like, I was just basically generally nervous. So we get in, like everything where they were giving my shoes to their locker, like texted Catherine how to use their locker because it was
So
like this
funny.
like whatever like log number thing. I didn't know how to do it, and I would like go in, and I don't know how to deal with my bike. Like so, everything was just so like anxiety ridden. But then like we got into class, and it was like it went really quick, so like that's really good. But the first round, like there was a couple rounds of like different kind of exercises you had to do, and the first round I'm just like, oh my gosh, someone save me please. And because I have a really bad knee, I had a knee injury a couple years ago, and so like there were parts where you had to like it's kind of like going down a hill, I think, and you had to go really really fast, and the entire time I could feel my legs going oh no, like
no.
you know
They
how
just couldn't keep up.
yeah, and so you
Oh,
know how
man,
when
that's
you
so
pedal,
weird.
you can feel like your knees like this, but I literally felt like my legs were just jelly and just kind of whatever.
Huh.
But so Catherine was on my left, and I was in the very corner, so that no one could see me struggling. But the instructor always was like, 11 a.m. How you feeling? Everyone's like, whoa, yeah, and I'm like,
Oh,
I just
man.
wanted to shout like, duh, like, dying.
I was trying to listen for your screaming. I was like, Josh isn't yelling.
I was so
Is he having fun?
focused on like the whole exercise because you had to like pedal but also like lift your body up, lift your body down, lift your body up, and my body was like I know I've done dance before, but this is like a weird like motion, and I was focusing so hard on trying to like keep to the beat.
Oh, you're supposed to do that?
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to, you kind of like pedal your feet to the beat at the same time they make you do like these up and down things on the handlebars, especially when it's going really fast. Like it's hard.
I always felt
Yeah.
like every time I tried to go like up and down with my torso, like I was trying to keep like this really pulse with my right foot, but then it kept like you kept feeling like I was doing like this, like kind of weird feeling.
Yeah.
And then we had to do a part where we had to do some like arm stuff, and I
While
had
you're biking?
so all your legs are going.
Okay.
Yeah. Very
Okay,
intense.
this is a lot of motion.
It was I was a sweaty mess. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But I
man.
realized as I did it that I took two different weights. But they were in the bin. It was on the 5-pound bin, and one of them was an 8-pound.
Someone messed up.
Yeah, and so like it's like little exercises, but when you do it, when you hold it out for so long, your arm gets so tired.
Yeah.
So I had to like switch the weights like every exercise.
I didn't
and
notice
like,
this happening.
and then the next day we played badminton.
Oh yeah.
And then I was just like I couldn't
Right.
feel like my arm was so sore because of that workout.
Couldn't lift it.
But yeah, would I recommend it? I say so. It's fun. But if you aren't like in like you haven't gone to like done exercise or for a long time, it's pretty killer.
It gets
Oh,
better,
man, I
guys.
would just-
I swear.
No, Catherine was like going for it.
Do you go regularly?
Mhm. Yeah.
We should all go
I
together.
encourage you all.
I'll go
to
one
come.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just once.
That's the most I
Yeah.
could ever do.
It like
There's no
feels
way.
like death, but after I felt really good.
Mm.
And then we went to
it's
take
a really
photos.
good workout.
What, like sweaty photos?
No. we went.
Beforehand, I forgot
went-
my phone.
we took a shower, and then I was like, it's such a nice day out, but also our bodies are probably real tone because when you use your muscles, you look real good. And then we decided to take some
I
photos.
see. I was like, why would you want to take photos after that?
Yeah, I'm just like sweaty, but like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Okay. Hey everyone. We hope you've been enjoying our episode so far with our good friends Randy and Rosanna. Make sure to follow us on our other social media accounts. We are on Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok at RiceWashed Podcast. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at JMKBoone and Catherine at Catherine Lava. So, for today's episode, I thought it would be really cool to talk a little bit about career because I think like we're all in that stage of life where we're all like what are we doing with our lives? I don't know about you, but I question it every day. So before we like talk about maybe what we're doing actually maybe we should start with just like briefly explaining what we do or generally, and then we can talk a little bit about some of our part-time jobs we did, what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. And there's a reason why these two are back. It's because we are the Tomato Gang, and we did a video a couple years ago.
Oh man,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Quite a long time ago.
It feels like longer. I thought it was longer than that.
I also thought it was
Yeah.
longer.
I thought it was like
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
We did it a couple of years ago where we played a game called Cashier Battle Royale. Basically it was bonded because they all were cashiers at a grocery store. And so I thought it would be fun to bring you all back and just have a conversation about careers, because we did talk a little bit about it then. Also, just to let you know that my kids watch that video like a lot. Like, yeah, like I would always see every week. I would see a kid watching it, and for me, it's like kind of interesting, but also like, why would you watch? Like, so kids watch it like 10 times probably.
Like
oh
in
my
weird.
like,
goodness.
how did you know they were watching it?
I would just walk
view
by
count
and
was just going up.
and I just see their monitor.
That means they've seen us
Oh.
too.
Isn't that weird?
That's cool though. Like they were entertained. That's
You know what's
good.
Yeah.
funny? It's like,
Yeah.
they're like, your friends are so funny. Mr. Poon, why are you so weird in the video? Because apparently I'm very different at school.
Because you're
I
different. Oh,
think
you're
you
Guess
acted
so.
different.
I'm probably a lot
fine.
quieter, right?
Yeah, probably.
But like, I'm with my
I
friends.
see.
So.
yeah,
But anyways, just letting you know, you guys are all
we're pretty popular with Mr. Poon's kids.
yeah, you
Nice.
guys are
That's pretty cool.
superstars.
Wow.
Yeah. So why don't we just go around, just briefly talk a little bit about what we do, and then we can get into some of the behind the scenes background stuff. Who wants to start?
Josh.
Okay. So right now I'm a teacher. I'm a music teacher and Christian studies teacher. And I've been doing it for 3 years. Randy?
Wow. I am right now. I'm working as a software developer, and I've been doing that for about like a year and a bit. I'd say, like actual practical experience. So, yeah.
I am a social media marketing person, and I've been doing it for 3 months.
I work in clerical in healthcare, and I've been doing it for 5 years now.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Very different jobs. Maybe we should say like the day in the life of what we do. Make sense?
Day in the life?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we do the opposite, Catherine?
Okay. So, oh my gosh, what do I do? It's a lot of like collaborating with doctors and nurses and other clerks. We process a lot of like healthcare orders. A majority of it is like imaging, blood work, consultations, and stuff like that. And we also book chemo appointments as well.
Okay.
So it's a lot of order processing. Yeah.
What was that?
I also communicate with people, so like I have to reach out to find out about events that are happening, to promote those, and like different businesses that are like in the same area to help like promote like if they have events going on or if they have like new food items, things like that. And it's like a lot of just like making sure that there's like content going out every day. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For me right now, I'm working remotely, so I guess sort of just like how a regular day looks like. Or okay, yeah. So I guess like first thing I do is I usually have like a team meeting. It's called like a stand-up or a scrum is what people usually call it. But basically I meet with my team, and it's like a group of like 4-ish people, and basically talk about what we're going to do today and what we did yesterday. And after that, you mostly just go on your own working on whatever sort of project you need to do. Maybe you're working on developing sort of a new feature for some tool. I won't go too much into detail about that, but that's pretty much what I do, usually fixing some bugs. And then at the end of the day, pretty much just remember what you did and then repeat the same thing. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Very goal oriented.
Yeah.
I work. I see it as like a daycare in some ways, like making sure the kids are behaving and doing their work and handing things in on time, all those things. But also, like, it's like you're teaching them how to be better students, also better people, and also just not jerks. So,
Yeah.
but that's like, I feel like as teachers, like it's like whatever, I'm there at like 7:30 till like 5 or 6 depending, and then but throughout that you teach them, and then you also have to mark things, and
It's interesting hearing about all your guys' days because it's so different from what I do. It's interesting.
it is very interesting. Now I want to ask is like, what I guess got you into your jobs, or like maybe my interest of why you wanted to do that. Like, I think it was like starting grade 12 was when we did our like some of our school, or grade 11 actually, when we did some of our talent show things. I really enjoyed the idea of like putting groups together and singing and all those things. And then one of my teachers actually noticed my talent in that, and so that's why I went into music education, and then from there went straight into a job. And so I think I wanted to be a teacher probably at the end of high school. So which is like interesting because I didn't in high school. I hated music, so it's like interesting how that came about. But I'm interested in what made you guys kind of go into where you are now. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Randy.
Sure, I'll start. I guess, to be honest, I didn't really know what I wanted to do until like probably just end of high school. I didn't really know what degree I wanted to do, or if even I was going to go to like university. So I kind of started off with just going to college and taking more like general courses. But I always knew I like really wanted to do something that sort of involved technology, and just sort of had a passion for that and computers. So eventually found out about computer science. I think it's from my sister. She sort of recommended it to me. She was like, just maybe this might be a good fit for you. And so I did that. Went through university, through my degree, and to be honest, that was sort of I guess it was pretty arduous. I really didn't like my classes and my teachers at first, but I think the projects and like the actual work that I did in school was sort of what kept me going. And so eventually after graduating, I was like, I really just need like a stepping stone, and then sort of just took whatever job I had at the moment. But I still enjoy like what I do, and there's like a lot to learn all the time. There's always like new technologies coming up. There's new like programming languages that you need to learn in the I guess in the sector. So yeah, eventually I kind of want to be, I guess, doing something that's more how do you say it? I guess something maybe to do with like gaming. That'd be really cool. But
He's a gamer.
might be later down the road. So
You could design your own video game one day.
Yeah,
that would be really
that
cool.
would be so cool.
fun. Just to be a part of that. Yeah.
It's like it's like interesting because like I'm like, I would say I'm pretty okay tech savvy, but like I
can't even
no
imagine
idea.
what you have to deal with, Randy, like the coding and stuff. Like,
Yeah. It's like mostly just problem solving, but I guess people always say like programmers have like a certain way that you have to think, but I feel like as long as like you put your like effort into it, it's not as hard as what people
Is it like a language? I remember someone telling me it's a coding is like another language kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just mostly I'd say it's just pretty much learning anything else really, but you just kind of have to get used to it, and I don't know.
I don't think my brain could do that.
no, I don't think I could either. Struggle.
Rosanna.
Okay, so I guess like in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but like I really liked like music and like art. So I joined this like media arts course where we were like making like comic books and doing animations and stuff. And there was somebody in that class who I had like heard about because I knew they were really good at art. And I was like, I really want to be this person's friend. And I was like, this is my opportunity. We're in the class together. This is great. And then she like showed me, she introduced me to Tumblr at the time, which was very popular.
Is Tumblr alive still? Is it still a thing?
It is. I think,
Yeah.
I haven't been on it in forever, but I'm pretty sure it's still a thing.
I never got on the Tumblr train.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I was really into it.
Of course, I could totally see that.
Yeah. And then she like I knew that she wanted to pursue animation. So I kind of was like, okay, I want to do that too. And it wasn't really like founded in anything. I was just like, this person's cool. I'm just gonna do the same thing as them. Yeah. And then so I was kind of like of the mindset of like, okay, I had like a specific school in mind that I wanted to go to for like animation. And then I guess like I'm not really related to that, but like I was in the musical at my school in grade 12, and I really liked that, and I really liked like practicing with people and like putting on a performance and like the community of people like working together or like, you know, like a final goal that you could just like appreciate when you're like done with it. So then I was like, oh, like I wish I could do this. So then after graduating, I was like, okay, well, I want to see if I can find an outlet for like musical theater somewhere. And then I was also like, but I'm like I kind of decided that I'm going to do this animation thing. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. But I didn't have enough money, so I just kind of gave up. I was like, I don't have enough money to go to the one school that I wanted to go to, so I guess I just won't do it at all. Yeah, and then eventually I went to like a smaller school that was like cheaper, and then I was able to like transfer to like a university that had like more of an like art program that I wanted, but it wasn't quite like animation. But so I kind of had to like get what I could out of the program. And then I was like also very influenced by like stuff that I was watching. So I would like watch like dramas where people would be like doing like marketing, and I'd be like, ooh, that looks cool, that looks fun. A lot of my stuff is just like I see it in media or in a person that I know, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that now. Yeah, so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like a minor in communications because I think that would be useful. So right now my job is more just like the communication side and less so the art side. So I think like eventually I would like to use the art side more, but like right now it's like good to get experience for communication. Yeah,
A stepping stone.
yeah.
Yeah.
God, I know what you.
Similar to these guys, I also had no idea what I wanted to do in high school.
this
This
is
is like a very
common
common theme. But I was always kind of like more towards the like sciencey part of things. So I took a lot of science courses in high school. Yeah. And then the first couple years of college, I just did like, just random like science courses and stuff because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I was leaning more towards a biology degree. And then halfway through, I was like, wait, do I want to do this? And so I was like, wait, stop. And then my aunt told me about the unit clerk program. She was like, it's really short. You can get a job right away, like basically anywhere. So yeah, sure. And so I took it. And then I got a job after, and I have been there ever since. Yeah.
It's interesting because I've known I think you the longest, but I didn't like. I don't know this stuff about you guys. You know what I mean? Like I think it's so interesting how how the path brought you to your job, and like, and I think it could have totally changed depending on your experience in like a course or something, right? Like I know in my music education program, like I had really really admirable profs, you know, who've had years of experience and really encouraged me to be a good teacher. But I also have heard, you know, from other programs where their programs were not like that, and they lost their passion to teach. And like I like for Randy was saying that there were some profs that weren't the best, and it's like so common. And I always think about like if it wasn't that, if Randy had really really good profs and would more people have done that? Like, you know, it's like so
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Like how,
Influences are so strong when it comes to being in college.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially Rosanna, she is influenced by
everyone and
Watching those
everything.
dramas.
those dramas, those marketing dramas.
Yeah, they're the reason I switched programs so many times. I watched like a law one, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a legal office assistant.
Oh,
And then I
man.
switched, and because I hated it,
Yeah.
and then I switched it back to art. Yeah,
Like that is the
So
time to
good.
just try everything, though.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just try everything.
we're still young,
Mhm.
even though I feel like an old man.
Whoa! Don't look at me.
Okay, so I want to know, because we talked a little bit about in our video a couple years ago about your job as a what?
there's
There's a
like a
bug.
little fruit fly or something.
Someone get it?
No,
Rennie
it's-
hates
it's
bugs.
gone now.
Not a fan.
It's gone. Oh,
It's there. No, it's right there.
It's flying
I don't
around.
wanna kill it. Maybe it'll die.
It's
Oh,
Just get it. Dude.
Oh.
Is it on
Oh,
me?
it's on
Is it
his
on my
jacket.
jacket?
I kill it. Okay, sorry. Sorry for those who love
bugs.
bugs. It was bugging me.
All right. No one laughed.
No one lugs me. Lugs me? Likes me. All right, sorry. What was I saying?
Influences for jobs.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. We were talking about in a couple years ago. We were in that video talking about your jobs as working in grocery stores as cashiers.
right.
But I think it'll be cool for us to talk about maybe the jobs we've had, and because I actually don't know. I mean, I just know like what you're doing right now. I know you worked at the grocery store, but maybe just list some of the things you did, and then we can just talk about our experiences with them.
Okay.
Okay. So I have had many jobs. I started working as a newspaper boy back in grade 6 and grade 7, grade 8. So I wake up every day at like 5 a.m. and I would deliver newspapers around my neighborhood. And then I became a piano teacher and theory teacher in grade 9. And then I also I worked at a bakery in grade 10 and 11. And then I worked at a restaurant. And then I worked at a bubble tea place. And then I taught as a teacher. And then I worked also in a sushi place.
Wow.
Nice. That's a lot.
That
I'm
is a
burnt
lot.
out. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So what was my first job? I guess you could say babysitting. When I was maybe like 11 or 12. So I did that for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I didn't have a job all throughout high school. And then I worked as a cashier. You peeps. And then I did some medical office assistant stuff at doctor's offices. I worked at a jewelry store for a little bit.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, selling jewelry. And then what else have I done? And then the clerical stuff, and that's it. The jewelry stuff was like maybe like 3 or 4 months.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not about the retail life. It
Yeah.
was like way too much, and it was like commission based, so there was a lot of pressure to like sell. Discount was great.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah,
no, not for me.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go. For me, my list of jobs not as extensive as you guys, but especially not Josh. But I guess I sort of started. I mean, I don't even know if I could call it a job, but sort of like volunteer work at the church. I guess.
Yeah, no.
So-
no.
Yeah, just helping with running a kids camp, and then after that, let me think. Yeah, I did some work as a cashier for like a grocery store, and then I had a co-op job, I guess, as a electronics technician, as they called it. But
What
that
is
was more of just doing like
what
assembly
is
work.
that?
It was- I wouldn't really call it like, I don't even know about the job title, but essentially I was just like making or like assembling circuit boards, sort of putting all the like pieces together and things like that.
Huh.
And then you ship like those boards out to, I guess, suppliers, not suppliers. I don't know, people who need it. And then after that, I ended up working as a software developer for my co-op, and then that's what I'm doing now, really. So,
Randy also missed one.
did I?
Yeah, you worked in your little store.
Oh, I did.
Oh, I
Well,
forgot
no,
about
I missed two. I guess I worked at, I guess, my own house, which was
They used to
like
own a
family
little
store.
corner store.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also worked as a health records.
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot about that, and
We
that was
talked about that
actually
last time.
pretty recent.
Yeah.
That wasn't
So,
very long
yeah.
either. So.
I have really good memories of the corner store at Randy's residence
Mm-hmm.
because so me and Silas really like ice caps, like love ice caps, and every time we would go over to his place, they have an ice cap machine. Oh,
Oh,
That sounds good.
I
that sounds
miss
so
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was so much fun. And then sometimes Randy would be like, we would talk to Randy on like Discord or whatever, and Randy's like, I'm hungry, and you just go downstairs to
Go
the store.
downstairs,
That's
go
so
grab something to
sweet.
eat, and then get whatever I want. Really.
Nice.
You should have kept the ice cap machine.
Oh yeah, you
I
should have took
think
it.
No, I think we sold that. Actually.
Oh, because I do.
I was like,
still have
excuse
it.
me, can you bring it
Yeah.
next time, please? We'll invite you to the
Still
next
had
episode.
it. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's gone.
Wow, those are some fun times.
Yeah.
Do you remember when there was a fly in your house and your roof was really, really like not too tall or too high,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Silas smashed the
Oh,
fly,
yeah?
but it hit the roof.
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyway,
Mark
sorry.
probably still-
Rosanna.
I've had like quite a few jobs, like part-time jobs, like over the holidays and stuff like that. So I worked at a couple of grocery stores. I worked at like a chocolate and ice cream place.
Mhm.
I worked at a clothing store. Yeah. I worked, and I had a bunch of co-ops. So I did like a graphic design co-op. And then I had a co-op where I was helping make like learning materials for students. And then what else? And then I had a social media co-op, and I made like motion graphics videos and stuff for them. That was cool. That was really fun. I feel like maybe that's it, but I feel like I'm missing something too. I don't know.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
Oh, I did background work for TV sets.
Oh yeah.
right.
Nice.
Sorry, I just made eye contact with Captain and she coughed. Okay, so now my question is, what were your favorite jobs, and what were your least favorite jobs? Okay, I need to think about this.
I think my favorite job was the cashier job. Rosanna and I were actually talking about this on the way here.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Nah.
It wasn't like the job itself actually was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But just like the people that you met and like made friends with during it was like the best part.
Yeah.
I mean, the job was okay. It had its moments,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. There were some nice customers.
Mhm.
Sometimes people would like try to give you tips.
yeah.
And,
Oh.
and we had to be
Really?
like, we can't take
I can't
tips.
accept this. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's so
and you'd actually
interesting.
like form
Yeah.
relationships
Tip.
with some of the customers because
Yeah,
you'd
like
see
the
them like
regulars.
literally every week.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving you tips as a cashier, that'd be
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Yeah.
You
And
couldn't take
You can't take them.
Yeah, you
though.
can't
Yeah,
take
you
them.
can't take them. That's probably
But-
illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and I don't know if this was allowed. No, this
Huh.
is not about money. It's about
Okay.
something
Oh,
else.
I was like,
Okay, I was like,
are we
No.
spilling some tea?
No. Sometimes I would be like, "Oh, this is really interesting. I haven't seen this like snack before. Like, how is it?" And they'd be like, "Oh, here, I'll just give you one."
Oh,
And
really?
like that would just
Yeah.
happen, and it was really nice.
That's legal. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
We bought it. Yeah.
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 What were some of your for that job? Was there anything that you really didn't like?
I mean, you had to stand for a long time.
That's
that was
true.
kind of hard.
They didn't
to
give you
deal
any
with at
chairs.
first,
That's true.
yeah.
You weren't allowed to sit.
Yeah.
Why? I wonder why. Well, how much do they give you like a nice stool? You could literally just sit on your butt and just.
I don't know why they never. I mean, in
Yeah,
general,
I
I feel
don't
like
either.
here you never really see cashiers sitting.
No,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I
Not that I
don't
can think
know
of.
why.
Okay. This is one thing I find interesting. I remember I think one of our teachers talked about this back in high school, but the idea of like these self checkouts now are like so like, people use it all the time, but then like it defeats the purpose of those interactions with the cashiers. But then at the same time, it's like kind of nice to like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody, just like go straight to the self checkout.
It is nice.
Do you guys go to the self checkout or the cashier more?
Self checkout.
Self checkout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the
nowadays,
nostalgia.
I think it depends on how much stuff I have. If it's a lot of stuff, I cashier because they're a lot faster than I am going like. Oh.
Especially if you have like produce or something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then I would like put the thing on the scale or whatever scanner, and then like I would look through all like the apples. What kind of apples? Okay, and that one is this right? I don't know. Okay, yeah. Anyone else have a favorite that kind of popped up?
About that job or just any
job?
Any job?
Yeah.
There's a job that I forgot about. It was like helping new students who are coming to the university. And like it was almost like peer support, like one-on-one stuff, and then also like organizing events to get people to bond because everything was online at that time. So like they couldn't meet other new students. So we were trying to create that community in like an online environment. And that was really fun. It was cool to be like, oh, I know stuff about like this program you're taking. I know this teacher is good. And I can like tell people like, this is what I expected from the program and this is what I actually got out of it. So like, I don't know. It just feels like you're saving them some time, you know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
RateMyProfs.com or RateMyTeachers.com. Like, honestly, like, I remember when I was picking my courses, like, so many, like, upper years would tell me, like, oh, these are the teachers that you want to get, and honestly changed, like, the whole course. But, like, it actually does matter.
Are
Like,
you on that website?
Oh, I am
now?
on there.
On that list.
My goodness.
Someone from my practicum made it for me.
That's pretty
I thought it was hilarious because I was like, this is so biased, but it's so funny to me. And I got the 1 rating, the 1 5-star rating.
Nice.
Please
That's
keep it
nice.
like that.
Nice.
That's nice.
I think one of my favorite jobs was the bakery, because it was kind of like every day you just had to package certain things and like label things, and it was pretty like, I don't know, like task oriented, like just do this. But the really fun part was actually, we don't know what to say. I'm not gonna say this. I don't know what they're like. I'll tell you guys later.
Okay.
Another fun part of it was they taught me how to decorate cakes. And so sometimes when we have a lot of time, or let's say they're just kind of we messed up on this cake, if you want to like test like write or learn how to write with icing and all that stuff. So I know how to do that.
That's cool.
So that was really fun. And it was very like even if we had customers, it was very short like interactions, like, oh, can I get this? I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
done.
that's true.
Without, because I don't really like talking to like strangers a lot. I just feel uncomfortable with that. Like, what's it called?
Small talk?
Small talk.
Oh.
Yeah, I like big talk.
Deeper conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also liked the bubble tea place, because I literally like was separated from the restaurant, and I would just get on an iPad the orders. I make the orders, I give the orders, and then that's it.
Right.
And sometimes Catherine would just literally visit me and sit there, and we just chat.
That was so fun.
It was
That
so
was
chill.
really fun.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I really like goal oriented, like task oriented things, where I'm like, okay, that's this. Need to do this, done. And then I go home and I don't worry about it until the next day.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Randy, you have a favorite job?
I feel like every job I've had just like had some like up and downs, but I guess for like a software development job, something that I really like out of it is just like working on something. When I get like a project to actually do, it's like you take all this time and effort to like make sure it's like working okay, that there's like free of bugs, and like everything just sort of goes together. It's like once you finish the final product, it's like always feels really good, and then you always get like feedback from it too. It's like, oh, like this user, maybe even like something's not working well, and then so you can have the opportunity to just go back and like fix it, and then it works, and then they're like happy with that, which is really cool.
It must be satisfying, like when you
Yeah.
figure out, like, oh, that's why the code didn't
It's like,
work.
oh, I did this, even though it's like a little like thing on the form. Oh, it's like that button works now. Yes.
That button.
What they're typing in, it's like they're making less mistakes now. Yes, it's so good. So
It's the little things.
That's
Yeah.
like how I feel as a
Little
teacher.
things.
Little things.
When my kids get it, I'm like, finally, please, yes, finally. I was gonna say, I guess out of the jobs, like, what are some of the things that you have learned from that job, and or what have you learned to appreciate because of that job? So, for example, like, because I worked at a restaurant and all those things, I totally appreciate waiters and waitresses and, like, the stresses they go through. And so, like, even though, let's say, I go to a restaurant and they don't, maybe they're not the nicest or the most kind, I still tip because I'm like, I understand, like, one table could literally throw you off. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyways, what are some things that you've maybe learned or appreciated because of your jobs?
I think with the cashier job, it gave me really good customer service skills. And like just being able to like talk to people,
Yeah.
like that small talk, especially that
Yeah.
Jack doesn't like.
I like big talk.
He likes the big talk. Yeah. Just getting used to it. But I did also learn, like, I guess with that job, it has a lot of customer service. It is like exhausting. So I did learn to appreciate like my alone time and not having to talk to people.
Oh, that's
I
fair.
guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, like, when I was working as like a health records clerk, it sort of gave me like a perspective on like people working in healthcare, especially like right now. It's like so hectic. There's like so many things going on in like different parts of like, I guess, like the hospital I was working at. It's like, how do people not get like overwhelmed with all the stuff they need to do, especially with like this shortage of like,
That's the thing we do.
yeah, just like the shortage of like people who are working there. Like, it's just makes me appreciate the people who are working there a lot more. So after working there, so yeah.
Wait, am I the only person who hasn't gone? Have you gone?
Has Josh said anything? I don't
Have I gone?
know.
I talk a lot. I think I think even as a teacher right now, I think I've definitely underestimated what our teachers have done in the past for us, and like the amount of open space they've had for us to be able to talk to them, or the amount of time they would stay at the school to talk to us, or the extra mile of things. Like, I realized, like, wow, like as a teacher now, I think about how I can do that for my kids, but it's exhausting and it's tiring, but there's so rewarding, I guess. It really made me appreciate even some of the teachers that maybe I wasn't fond of, that, maybe had connected to other kids but not me, but still had that space for them. Like, honestly, like, it's like, and some of them were married and had kids. Like, I am single, like, I didn't have to worry about a family, but there were so many teachers that work so hard and so long hours. Like, it just boggles my brain. Like, I don't think people really appreciate teachers as much. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I'm just saying generally, I think teachers work so hard, like, to even just get the minimum done.
I guess I've like learned to appreciate really supportive bosses, because I think they can really like make the job. Like, one of my co-ops, one of my graphic design co-ops, like after I worked there, my boss like still like we still talk. I went to like a Christmas party that they had, like a work Christmas party they had, like after my co-op had finished, and I was talking about how I was having some trouble because I might have to move and like I wasn't sure where I was gonna live, and she like had a rental home and she was like offering that I could like live there and stuff, and it was like really nice. Like, she didn't have to do that, but she was like going the extra mile and like wanted to make sure that I like succeeded in like my work life in the future as well. So yeah.
I can relate to that because my practicum mentor, similar thing. Like, she literally we still chat to this day about, like, I would be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with my band, or I don't know what to do with my choir. How do I fix this? And she's always there to help. She's, even as like a friend, she's always there for me, like in terms of things I'm going through, always asking me how I am. And like, it's such a nice feeling, like to know like, it's not just like boss and employee relationship. It's like, okay, they actually care about my well-being, and
Yeah.
they want to see me succeed. And that's a really cool feeling to have.
Yeah.
Want to see us interact and see other content? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel where we have games and the videos of our episodes. You can find us at RiceWashed Podcast. Make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on that notification bell.
I was going to ask, so we all kind of shared a little bit about, the jobs that we have right now. While we were going through school, did you ever feel any pressures of getting a certain job? 'Cause I know I've heard from a lot of friends, a lot of people on the internet about, especially in Asian households, that a lot of them are really pressured to be like doctors and lawyers, and I think engineers now are getting into that, which is nice. But I was just wondering if any of you felt any pressure at all.
I didn't get any pressure or anything, no. Did you guys?
I didn't from like my mom, but I did from other relatives.
Mm.
So like my mom was like I didn't know this until later on, but she's always just been very like hands off with like what like I want to do with my life, which I think has made it so it's like hard for me to make decisions because I didn't have like guidance. But I can see now that it's because she like felt like I guess she had like less options for like what to do, and she wanted me to have like the freedom to like do what I want to do and be happy in my work. So I really appreciate that now. But it was definitely like confusing because I would see other people who their parents were like, you should do this. And it's like, this makes it so much easier when someone's telling you what to do. But I can also see how like, if you don't want to do that thing, then that's like
definitely a balance, right? Like guidance and versus like letting us do our thing.
Yeah.
Randa, how are you?
For me, I guess like in terms of my like parents, they never really put too much pressure on me, I guess. I'd say most of the pressure I sort of put on myself. So like, especially like going through university, I had like a group of friends that I was study with, and like seeing them get like co-op jobs and like opportunities, especially, and like other students in the program as well. It's like you just hear it's like, oh, this person's going to Facebook, this person's going to Google, and it's like, wow, those are like really prestigious jobs. And like I didn't really even get my first co-op job until like my final 4th year, so it was like I'd say it was like pretty tough on me in that sense, just seeing people like get co-op jobs in their first year, second year, and like I couldn't do that. And so I think that's where most of my pressure comes from, just like seeing other people succeed in areas where I couldn't at the time. But I think that's something you kind of have to learn sometimes, just to like how to sort of accept that, but also like figure out what you can do better to sort of improve yourself. So
yeah, it's really relatable.
Yeah.
Like I think all of us have that issue of like comparing ourselves to somebody else, whether that is like career, appearance, social media, right? So no, totally. I know my parents were very different because my parents loved music, and so yeah, even like being in music was already a huge difference compared to a lot of my other friends, right? And I know also art, for example, there's been issues with people going to art and the arts in general, but my parents have always loved music, and my mom apparently when she was younger was actually asked to sign a record label. Because you've heard my mom saying she's a really good singer, but she couldn't, right? And so, but my dad, grew up singing choir. He always tells me how he was a tenor and now he's a baritone. But like they've always loved music, and so for me to even just go into music, I know is such a blessing because I know other people have such high pressures to like make a certain amount of money. Now, I guess for me, because I was in education, being a teacher is a little better in terms of finances, right? So, but I know that my parents always have just wanted us to get an education, and whatever degree that we want to do, because that's a really big stepping stone for any job. But they never really pushed me to do a certain job, which is like honestly such a blessing in disguise. Like they encouraged me and really were kind of strict on the expectations are high, like achieving well, doing well in school, but that's about it. And I think about, and at high school, I was just like, oh, they're so strict on me. But like, honestly, like, not really. Like, I'm honestly so happy that my parents are so open-minded, right? And I know my mom, she didn't get a chance to go to school because of family reasons. And so I think now I understand why she wanted us to go to university. You know. I want to ask you, what are some of your dream jobs? Like, if you could work in any field, like just pretend like you automatically get the job, like what has been something that you've always wanted to do? I'm very curious. I also, side note, Randy, I still want you to be interior designer.
Oh yeah, I was actually gonna say that. Oh,
Cool.
Like a job that if I like wasn't doing like programming or like any sort of like coding sort of stuff, I think doing interior design would be really cool to do.
That's interesting. I would have never thought that you would have been into that.
Yeah.
It's never too late, dude.
Do you like playing The Sims because of that? Because you get to design like.
No,
Oh.
but
What is a game that's like that made you like, oh, I love this decorating or something?
not really a game. I'd say like, I think I just like, I don't know, maybe I inherited from my dad since like his side of the family, they did like all this like, I guess sort of architecture sort of stuff. They did like blueprinting and like my grandpa did like stuff for like building houses back in like China.
That's cool.
So maybe that's where I got it from. I don't know, but
I didn't know that.
That's
I
cool.
don't know. Yeah, I just like seeing like the aesthetics of like houses. I don't know why. They just seem like interesting to me.
I think like I
It's a
know
nice
you
house.
have a job now, but like if you ever like have free time, dude, I think you should totally even do like a course or two.
Yeah.
I think
Be cool.
yeah, do it. You can design my future house.
Mine
I
too.
don't know about that.
I'm trying to think of what I'd like to do as a kid. When I was a kid, I really wanted to be an archaeologist.
Oh,
I don't know how viable it is. I never actually looked into it. But I always thought it was cool to like find fossils and stuff. What else?
Interesting.
Marine biologist would be really cool too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, so I'm a very insecure person. And so when I was doing music, performance was always something I was really scared about. So like, I remember my first 2 years, I was going through a lot of mental health stuff, and I didn't push myself to perform. But then my last 2 years, I realized that how much I actually enjoyed it. And so I remember, I think when I was younger, back in the Glee days, I remember just like I've always there's a part of me that always wanted to be like an artist, like a musician, and just like performing for people has always been. I never really realized until recently that it's something I've always was always wanting to pursue, but I felt like I wasn't good enough to do it. Yeah. So I think like I remember actually the other day I was looking through my external hard drive and found all our choir stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is what we did. Like we put on like these concerts that were like whatever harmonies we performed in front of crowds. Like I'm like, and I think I can't do it. You know what I mean? Anyways,
Yeah, you did.
right? And
Yeah.
it was like it was really actually for me like also reminded me like that I have other skill sets and other things that I can do, and I just always sell myself short. Always, I always do that. But I think that was like a performer or an artist of some sort sharing music, whether it is my own or covers. I think I've always been interested in that. Yeah.
I think I have like 3, which makes it difficult because then I like don't know what to pursue.
But let's pretend you can do all 3. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, well, one of them would be like performing, so like musical theater or like being in like a band or something. I think because I really like performing with other people, and I just like working like as a team and like bonding with your team about like the thing that you're doing together. I think it's really nice. Yeah, and I like performing. It's really fun. And then the other one is animation still. I think it's like, I don't really know why I want to do it, because it's like, yes, that like friend had some influence on me, but also like I'm really into like animated movies and like TV shows, and I like really appreciate like the storytelling and the art, but I don't know if that means I actually want to do it, or if I just like to look at it, you know, and like appreciate the work that's gone into it. So that one's kind of like, I'm not sure. Yeah. And then the other one is like, I think this is less of a thing because I don't really have experience in it at all, but when I was taking classes in like university, I had one class that was like industrial design, and I was really interested in like well-designed products and like how like you can look at a product and you can see how it was influenced by the time that it was made in. So like around the time when like airplanes started being a thing, cars and like fridges and like other things like that would have like this like streamlined look, like aerodynamic look, because airplanes were new and that was like in style. And it's like, it doesn't make like, I guess it makes sense for a car,
Not a
but
fridge.
like, yeah, not really a fridge, but it's like it's all kind of connected with the style, and
That's
it's
actually
really interesting. Yeah,
So are there actual jobs in that field?
I think so, but like I don't really know how to like get into that field necessarily. Yeah.
It seems very niche.
That's really
It might be
Yeah.
like an engineering-ish job. I can see that.
I think
they're always
so.
a kind of designy sort of thing.
Yeah.
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 When you said musical theater, that actually is one of my bucket lists. It's like to be in a musical theater production.
That'd be so fun.
Have you not been in one?
Never.
Oh, you should. It's really fun. You should do it.
I'm just scared of the acting, but I've been acting my whole life.
We in our high school briefly had a for like half a semester,
Okay.
and then it died.
So our school didn't have a musical theater program, but when you're grade 12, I think, right? I was grade 11. We had a teacher. She was amazing. And she's the reason why I wanted to become a teacher. She doesn't know that yet, but one day. But we had a class where we were taught like little musical numbers, and then we just performed that from the musicals. And I remember it was the best class. It was so much fun. It probably was the best concert I remember ever having, but she only had it for one semester because she found another job, and then it kind of just went downhill. And I remember just being like, thinking about like if we continue that, what we could have done.
Right.
Like our 2 years, our 2 years, I would say, were really musically talented in terms of singing, and we could have done a really cool production. No offense to the other
We
group.
just didn't have the resources.
Yeah. But we didn't have, our school didn't have the budget. It went into another athletic program.
I see. I remember.
But yeah, actually, now you bring that up, that's probably one of my favorite classes I took, and I still remember it. Yeah. And I think that's probably why I was able, like, that's the reason why I was given the opportunity to help with, putting together musical performances and all that stuff in school, and then fast forward the choir. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. That was really cool. I didn't know, like, for example, your family background about, like, because I remember we talked about how you enjoyed interior design.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, for Rosanna, I didn't know a lot about, like, your influences. And even then, Catherine, like, I think not knowing about, like, the path, how you kind of changed your path in midway. Like, I think it's so interesting, like, the influences that we have in our life definitely can change your career path. And what really breaks my heart is, like, knowing that some people don't pursue something maybe because of financial need, and or if that job can meet financial need.
Right.
I just wish that hopefully people can find find a job, or a job that kind of fulfills that passion, or even just have time to fulfill that passion. Yeah, that was a really cool conversation. I actually, this is one thing that stuck with me. I was talking to one of my friends' dad, who's a pastor, because there were moments in my life where I didn't know where I wanted to do in terms of work, and this really helped me. Was that a job and a passion sometimes can align, and that's the best. Like some people love their job, it's their passion, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes we have to remember that a job is a job that we need to pay the bills, but there are other ways to fulfill your passion outside of that, whether it is outside of work or on the weekends or whatever. But it's important to recognize what those passions are and pursue it, because it does change your life and how you view life. And like for example, my job, sometimes there's some passion in it, sometimes it's not, but there are things as a teacher I have to do. But outside of work, I've learned to try to pursue those passions, and man, it's changed my outlook on life, right? And so if you're ever like struggling with work, just remember that, you know, the reality of things is that we have to pay the bills, but we have a lot more time than we think, and it's so important to pursue those things and try out new things. Whether you're around our age, you're not old yet. Well, even if you're 30, I think like.
Well, there's people going back to school in their like 50s.
Yeah,
I think those people are super inspirational, because even now I feel like, oh, should I go back to school? Then you look at them, like they're doing it.
Yeah.
Is there something you guys want to go back to school for? Just side note.
Oh.
Maybe like voice acting or like animation. Yeah.
You should go to voice acting.
Yeah.
You should watch the episode where I
Interior
completely
design.
lose to Randy. I was gonna say I actually have always been interested in counseling. Yeah, I did all the prereqs already. I just haven't. I don't want to go back to school yet.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's today's episode. Thank you for joining us today, you two. We really appreciate you two. Yeah. Any last words for our audience?
Not for me.
I'm good.
Bye.
Always
know.
bye.
Hey everyone! RiceWashed is on Patreon. Patreon is a space where we post bonus content and videos that you won't see on Spotify or YouTube. If you're interested in more content or simply want to support us, check it out. Link in bio. We'd also like to thank our patrons, Young and Aaron. Thank you guys so much for your support.